Good morning and welcome to Smart Social Secrets Tips. We're coming to you on Friday this week, a little bit different day because things were a little crazy this week. Yesterday, I was at the Verizon Small Business Workshop and it was amazing. I will actually drop some information about that down into my different profiles probably later today with some information about how you can join that as well because it's really cool free training from Verizon, which was really amazing. So I wasn't here yesterday, but today, we are going to have an amazing special guest, and I've been looking forward to having her on for a while. So, Sheena Abraham is a friend of mine and also a member of the Smart Social Mastery group. But so I've gotten to know her business a little bit better. And I think that you guys will really enjoy meeting with her and hearing her perspectives on how she's juggling her business and also her visibility content, and also just to hear from her in general, because I love what she does. So I'm going to bring her on in without delay. Hi, Sheena.
Hello. Good to
How are
see
you
you.
doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Great. So I really love what you're doing with your business because I'd call it a multi-passionate person, right? You have a lot of things that you like to do. Like you don't have just one thing that you're so laser focused on. And I think a lot of us have that issue. In fact, at the Verizon program that I went to yesterday, that was one of the things that one of the attendees said. She stood up and talked about that. How can I do all these like things I'm passionate about and be good at them? And so, you're kind of navigating that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your business, what you do, and who you serve, and what problems you solve for your customers?
So my business is Carved Lemon Copywriting and Coaching, and I have been in the PR marketing industry the last 15 years. And I've been in a lot of situations where I'm a one-stop shop and I'm taking care of everything. So like you said, I've had that issue. I've had to choose like, what am I going to focus on while still entertaining my passions? And the audience I serve right now is business owners that they have a successful business, they're serving people, but they haven't really, even though they know their brand inside and out, and if they get in front of someone in person, they can totally sell. But when it comes to what's out there, there's not clear or consistent messaging on their product or service. And they're often leaving people unserved because their message isn't targeted and doesn't present the real value that they provide. And many times they may find themselves answering the same questions over and over, that if they had that clear messaging and clear value proposition, and they're touching on the pain points of their audience, if they had all of that in their messaging, it would solve a lot of problems for them. And many times they don't have the time or the energy or the muscle to really work on their messaging. So that's what I help with.
That's so good. So, what I love about what you do too is you also really delve into the mindset of people, and that to me is like so powerful and valuable. Could you tell? I'm going to ask you the question I ask all of my students: of what is your superpower? Like, what would you say your superpower is? What is your messaging?
I can look at a service offering, or I can hear somebody talk, and I can pull out what the golden nuggets are and put it together quickly in a way that will inspire the listener to action.
Yeah, I really do see that in all of the things that you do. So you've put together, and we'll get into this in a minute, where you've put together some really interesting content that really shows that. I think for you, and I'm really excited to share some of that with the audience. So, um, what have been some of your biggest struggles, I guess, in marketing yourself, in marketing your own business and yourself? Tell me some of your struggles.
I have to. I wouldn't feel like this on the surface, but
Mhm.
subconsciously, I think I had a visibility issue with all of the fears that come, even though like I love putting myself out there, I love attention, but there's still that fear of like, okay, like there's a vulnerability, and now I'm opening myself up to anyone to say anything. So I'm still working on that, but I also know it's not worth leaving people unserved and building the relationships that I can,
Mhm.
and tapping into the opportunities that are out there. So the one subconscious struggle was the visibility, but there's also the time and the overwhelm
Yeah.
Many of us know, we know what we should be doing. It's not hard to figure that out, but to actually do it is a whole other thing. And Smart Social Secrets, the group or Get Instant Authority has really helped me with that.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I mean, I think that that's really why I created it, is because we do know what we're doing. Like, especially if you're in marketing, PR, most of the people in that group are there, or business consultants. That it would fit, I think it would fit really well for a business consultant too, somebody who's out there helping other people with their businesses, to get seen, to get results, to do whatever. That we often then don't do it for our own business. It's just, I don't know. It's a
It's a
disconnect.
human
Why do you
behavior
think? I mean,
thing.
you're the mindset person. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, we have to create the ecosystem that will push us, drive us to do things that otherwise would take a lot of effort to do. I remember hearing a friend say, "Oh, I walked 10,000 steps today. I didn't even realize it." And I thought, that's how our lives need to be, where you're not just paddling in the ocean on a rowboat trying to get somewhere. You
Mm.
just need to find the roller coaster and sit in it and let it push you. Know where you want to go and make sure it's going there, and let it just push you. That's so,
The
I want to
momentum.
organize my life so all of those pieces are there.
No, I love that so much, because I think that's really powerful what you just said, because I think we also, I had another business owner come up to me yesterday. That was the great thing about that event. I just met with a lot of business owners, and he said, I don't want to do social media. Like, he's a financial guy. He does financial services, but he knows he needs to do social media. He wants to do it. And he's like, how can I find somebody to do it for me? And I'm thinking, okay, you can, but it's going to cost a lot of money, because I think a lot of people want to spend as little as possible just to cover that base, right? So, one of the things I told him was like, no, I mean, people want to hear from you. They want to know who you are. That's the purpose of for small businesses of social media. What do you think about that?
I think what people don't realize is ways to make that easier, because he's probably already out there talking,
Mhm.
uh, one-on-one conversations, maybe speaking. What some people have business owners do is record yourself. Just record yourself having a conversation,
Mhm.
and send it to someone. Let them pull out the core messages that
Mhm.
define who you are, and you could get a message bank that you could use for social media for a long time, just from listening to a few conversations you're already having. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel with social media. It's just about grabbing the content you're putting out there already, but it just needs
Yes.
to be written.
Oh, that is so good. That's so good, because it's, I think we think of social media as this treadmill of content that you have to like be putting out there all the time. And I think that, I mean, you do need to be visible. So let's talk about yours. So tell me a little bit about what you are doing right now to market your business.
So I something to help me get over the hump is to talk about what I'm passionate about,
Mhm.
which is, of course, is copywriting and messaging. But
Mhm.
underneath that is the brain and how our brains work. We often think we're rational, but we're not as rational as we think, right? So the content that I've started out with has a lot to do with mindset and emotional intelligence. And I'm starting to get, and I've done a little bit of copywriting and messaging content, but what's important to me is marrying the two,
Mm.
because good sales writing inspires your audience to action. So with my content, I'm passionate about making sure people know that, for a lot of people, when they think of copywriting is jargon, that word,
Mhm.
and the word writing takes you back to English class. And whether you liked your teacher or not, how did writing make you feel? But we don't learn sales writing when we're in school, right? You learn that out on the streets in the real world.
Mhm.
And so a lot of my content is geared toward making sure we understand like our hidden patterns, what are our biases, how do we make our brain work with us in our
Mhm.
own lives, but also for our customers, because you could be presenting the offer and it's what they need, it's the solution they need, but they're
Mhm.
going to encounter friction and resistance, and a lot of that just has to do with subconscious things in the brain. So with the content I'm putting out there, those are the kind of things that I want to address.
No, and I've really noticed that about it. So just talk about nuts and bolts now. How are you managing to get that content out there? Are you, I already know, but why don't you tell
Mhm.
us exactly what you're doing?
So, yeah, I have my step-by-step process, but I want to say it took this group, like the
Mhm.
accountability and the regular showing up, to help me ease into it. Because when I got my first job in my 20s, like I wasn't buying clothes and makeup, I was buying video equipment. So I've always made videos. I know how to do this, but I just wasn't doing it in the systematic way that I needed to. So just having the accountability and a regular time to work on it really helped. And in the beginning, I made it too tedious. Because I could, like I made a 5-part video series and it took me so long to edit it. And I think I had resistance, like I just didn't feel like editing it. But now what's happened is, I have an hour once a week. And before that hour, I've already been taking notes on what I hear or what I'm reading, taking notes. And then during that hour, I take whatever outline I have and I flesh it out. And then it becomes a script. I take my script that's in Evernote, my central repository, and I dump it into an app on my phone called Teleprompter. Because another area of friction for me before with recording with fancy video equipment was I don't have a teleprompter, and it takes longer to edit when you're stopping to think. So I have the Teleprompter app. It may not look like it, but I'm reading what I'm saying on screen.
No, you don't.
So I don't have to think, and there's less editing. And then once I've got it, I'll quickly edit it in an app called Lumafusion. I get
say that slower. What was it called?
It's called Lumafusion.
Lumafusion.
Yeah.
I'll look it up while you're talking. Keep going.
Yeah, it works well for me. So Lumafusion, there's Evernote and then Teleprompter and then Lumafusion. And then I go to Canva and make a headline graphic. And I have a template and I just change the words, get a transparent pink, dump it in my Lumafusion. And then from there, it's ready to post to social media. I have my caption. And when I write my captions, or description, I'm thinking about like, what are good hashtags? What are good calls to action? What problem is this solving for people? And how I frame it to try to get them to actually watch the video. And I can do that in about an hour.
So that's really interesting. Yeah. And we do put aside a specific hour every week for the group to get together and work. So that's been helpful to you. I think you've taken great advantage of that, which is not everybody takes advantage of it. It's kind of funny because it definitely does work to just have a moment, an hour on your schedule, whether it's with the group or on your own. Right. So there it is. We do have a couple of people I just wanted to say hi to. So Walter is saying hi, good morning. And Nicholas says hi. So if anybody's out there, let us know you're here. I want you to do that. We will answer questions in a minute. I just wanted to run through this. So Lumafusion. So let's just the Teleprompter app and then Lumafusion. Well, no, sorry. You use Evernote to take your notes and all during the week, during times that you're around. I do that too, by the way. I have Evernote and I just pop things open. I'm like, oh, this would be really interesting to talk about. And then you break that down into like basically talking points, if you want to say that, right?
Yeah.
And then you put that into the Teleprompter app, which is a free app, I think. Is it?
I think I did it one time.
There's different ones, huh?
Yeah, I think I did a one-time payment, or it might be like a low annual subscription.
Yeah, so that's good. If you're using it all the time, makes sense. And I use Big View, which is BIGVU. And so, I mean, it's another teleprompter app. And then I know there's a free one also at least on the Android store. I know there's also a free teleprompter app. So just do some searching for teleprompter apps on the apps. Then you take that and you put it into what does the Lumafusion do?
Lumafusion. I think the company is LumaTouch.
It is.
And it just, you get on your iPad or phone and go do. Back in the day, I would edit on my computer, and it was always so clunky and slow.
Yeah.
And I feel like on my mobile device, I'm just moving my fingers, cut here, cut there, added headline or title here. It's very smooth.
There it is. So there you go. It's very pretty too. Look, it's very easy. It looks like pretty. And I'm sure this isn't free. This is probably not a free app, right?
Yeah, it's not free, but it's pretty reasonably priced and very intuitive and user friendly. I mean, there's much more complicated ones out there.
Yeah, this one looks really, really easy. Okay, great. Yeah, I use a different one, but this looks really great. So that's amazing. And then you put it in here, you do your editing, you put the words and stuff and whatever, and then you pop it into Canva into a template, right? So the template's there with the branding around it, and then you just put the video in. How's that? How that works?
There's in Canva, I download a transparent ping. That's the size of the video, like that vertical video. And
Mhm.
so the top has the title and the bottom is transparent. And I dump that image into Lumafusion and just stretch it across the whole video.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So you've put that into Lumafusion.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So that actually is very helpful. I mean, I think you can do the other way around too. I think you can take the video into Canva and drop it into so I mean, you can go either way.
You
You could
can.
do a
Yeah.
nice little video and then download it and bring it into Canva, or the opposite way. But thank you for sharing the workflow, because I think that is what it's overwhelming for people. And you do it all in an hour, right?
Yeah. Like writing the description maybe will take me past the hour, but
Mhm.
actually making the video from start to finish is in that hour. Just I don't do anything else. I don't let anything distract me, and
Mhm.
I have my process, so I don't have to think that much about it. I'm just reading words on a screen that I put together.
And I think having the process, also the production process, is important too. So what we just talked about, those steps are really important. That's why I went deeper into them, because I feel like that
Mhm.
is critical. I'm just I think a lot of people are stopped from doing what they need to do by being overwhelmed by the process. So if you create a process and drop it somewhere, you can drop it into, if you're like me, I use ClickUp, but you could drop it into something like Trello or something and have all of your processes, and then just, move them over as you finish them. If whatever it is your brain needs. It could be a list on a piece of paper. I know one of our students, Bart, he uses like his notebook. He writes down what he's going to do in his notebook, and that's what he needs. He needs paper. So whatever your brain works like, right?
Yes, and I think with what you said about overwhelm,
Mhm.
you just have to give yourself the time to be bad at it in the beginning, and just let your brain absorb, and slowly it becomes a little bit more mindless.
I like what you just said. So could you go deeper into being bad at it, or being open to being bad at it?
Yeah, you don't have to be the best at something to be able to do something, but it's just that consistency.
Mhm.
Um, just keep doing it. I think last week Alan said, like, if you listen to my first podcast, it wasn't that good.
No.
So in the same way with getting the process down, at first
Mhm.
it's overwhelming and we're making a lot of mistakes and
Oh
doing
yeah.
things the hard way. But all you have to do is it's like lifting weights. Just build that muscle, and it becomes less like, well, what do I do here? What do I do there? And more like you're doing it without thinking.
Right. Um, what other tips would you give to small business owners or people to kind of stay visible beyond just the content creation part of it? What would be the other tips that you would give people to be better at that, to be better at staying visible? I would love to
This
hear your tips on that.
this is something you emphasize, which I kind of knew, but I'm like, no, I didn't know it because I didn't actually do it. But it's not just being visible for yourself, but being visible on other people's content and supporting them and having substantive comments. That has been very helpful to me in kind of building my community and
Mhm.
ecosystem, and building momentum, because we're not successful in a silo, just
Mhm.
building our own kingdoms and like talking one to many and saying what we want to say, but it's really about
Mhm.
interacting together and
Mhm.
supporting people in their visibility. Like if I meet someone or if I get values from somebody, I like to promote them and point
Mhm.
it out. That's such a huge way of providing value. So visibility is not just like, here's what I have to say, but it's like, look at what this person is saying. Oh, you said
Mhm.
that, and this is what it made me think. So that's been huge. Um, and I also think part of visibility is the willingness to offer yourself as a resource. Because
Mhm.
many times, many of us, like, we're working behind the scenes and doing a lot, but not always communicating that to others. So part of it is just being clear and saying, hey, if you have this problem, I recently came across someone with this problem, and here's something that I thought was helpful. I think if it's framed around providing value,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier.
It feels less spammy or scammy or whatever if you just do value, because and I think it works better too, honestly. So let's talk about results. I forgot to put that in our little lineup, but you've had like I mean, it may not be specific, but could you tell us some of the results you've had from just being a little bit more visible?
Yes, I am getting data points
Mhm,
and hearing from people about what their specific needs are. I
mhm,
may, post a video about one particular topic and it reminds somebody at a company, okay, our employees are struggling with XYZ. Um, do you have anything on that? And so I would start making more content based on what I heard people say they needed. And that would get shared across the company. And so it's like this little, if I share and then I get more feedback, I can create more.
mhm,
Um, so I would say it's really helped me with um, generating more leads in my pipeline,
mhm.
continuing to get data points so I know what are specific problems people are facing that, oh, maybe I have some information that can help with that. And also, it's really helped with my confidence in knowing that I can provide value. There's always that subconscious factor too, like we put a ceiling on ourselves based on our confidence level. So that's helped me as well, and it's helped build my community. Like I love um, having more peers to talk to. Right, when we put ourselves out there, it makes other people respond, and makes it okay for them to talk as well.
Right, and your content doesn't have to go viral to do that, right? So it's not like your content has thousands of likes and views, right?
No, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'm really not posting. I'm not like, okay, how many views, how many likes? Like the worth of what I have to offer
Mhm,
is not based on that. For me, I'm measuring it by offline what's
mhm.
happening. Who am I
Mm.
meeting? And what conversations are we having? Like how many more people am I helping? And I think your likes and your views and comments aren't always going to reflect what's happening offline where that's what's really going to matter.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that we really focus on that too much. I think it's one of the biggest myths of social media, like success is like if you don't have millions and millions of views and it's not going viral, that you aren't successful at this kind of stuff. I mean, even just a couple of likes, but moreover, somebody like DMing you in the background and saying, "Hey, I that really made me interested in what you said." Um, and you've had people ask you, like, "Can you provide something based on something that you've put out?" Right?
Yeah, yes. I'm getting more inquiries from being visible. So it's
Mhm,
kind of like, we all have something to give and we all
mhm,
have that hungry audience that needs it. And the
mhm,
visibility is just that connection to build the know, like, and trust factor. Like, I need
mhm.
something. Okay, maybe she can help. I've been seeing the fruits of that by putting myself out there. People with the problem I can solve are knowing like they can reach out to me.
Yeah, I think it's really important because that was something that I think at the beginning was one of the reasons why we were talking about you focusing on something, because you are multi-passionate.
Yeah.
So it's hard for people to know what you do unless you give them something to hold on to, right? They're like, they may like you, they may think you're an interesting person, but they're like, they may not know what you do. And I would raise my hand. How many people know, know, like, and trust somebody on the internet, but have literally no idea what they do?
It's true.
Like, what do they offer? Do they offer a service you could use? I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes. So, anyway, that's where we are at. And you did mention Get Instant Authority, so that is coming up soon. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing Get Instant Authority, and I will share my screen again so you can see what that looks like. I'm very excited about this too because I was able to make this website with Canva in like one day.
That is so cool. I'm like eager to try it out myself.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a new feature on Canva that you can actually create a website, like a one pager, even if I that you can make a navigation too. I just did a one pager here, and you can connect it with your domain name. So
So
you have to
cool.
be in the pro level. It can't be for the free level, but yeah. So we've put this together. It's coming up. I'll go down to the bottom here. You can just click on any of these register now things. It'll zoom you to the bottom. It's a type form, and we're doing on Tuesday, October 11th, Wednesday, October 12th, and Thursday, October 13th. I'm doing 3 times so that we can make sure we can catch your schedule. So hopefully you can grab one of those for yourself and come join us. So you did get you did instant authority with us to start. Could you tell them a little bit about why they should do instant authority?
Yes. It we all have that problem. We know what we should do, but we're not doing it. So this is that
Mhm.
roller coaster to get on where you have accountability, and it's not like the scary accountability you want to avoid. Like, I'm not going to show up because I don't want to be accountable. It's like, just
Mhm.
like, we're all adults, and it's just creating the space to work.
Mhm.
I look forward to it. I get energy from being in the group. I'm learning because like the bar is getting higher,
Yeah.
based on the professionals that are in the group. And what I really appreciate is just that sense of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Just having people that understand are going through a lot of the same challenges, but you're also getting to see successes all around and celebrate that together.
Mhm.
And for me, this helped create the rhythm of learning and then applying, which took a little bit of time, but eventually, I fell into that rhythm. Um, and so yeah, this has been monumental for me this year in
Mhm.
focusing on visibility and content and just
Mhm.
up leveling based on the people that are in the group.
Yeah, and it's a great group. And so that's the mastery program, which comes after authority. So instant authority is cool too, though, because you can just try this for 1 hour. Or actually,
Oh,
it's the 2 hour workshop, which thank you for talking about mastery, but this is the beginning of mastery. So instant authority is the free thing, right? So you can come and do this for 2 hours with us, and you will create about 3 months worth of content in about I think we did it in 17 minutes. The group did it in 17 minutes the last time we did this.
yeah. Okay. So with instant authority, it
Mhm.
provided the template to focus and say, these are my categories. This is what I'm talking about and when I'm talking about it. It's not like you had to write these long scripts. It's not overwhelming,
Mhm.
but you get an idea like, what are my headlines? What are my topics that I want to touch on? And when? That's it. And then once you have that, the template is there for you to flesh out.
Yeah. And that's really what it's about. And I do this for free instead of doing like a $59 or $27 because I want to make sure that we have that you see how this works. This process is very, very powerful. It works really, really well, and it's not super um salesy. I mean, it's like, hey, and you get stuff done. I mean, that's really what we're about, is getting things done in this group. We're not about talking about it. We're not about theories. We're about like actually doing the work, which is something I think for very busy small business, coaches, consultants, whatever. I mean, it's a critical because we don't have time for a bunch of theory and a bunch of classes. I think that's my
And we've
opinion.
probably all done way too many of that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, how many of those? I mean, I still do them because I'm, a lifelong learner and I love to do that. But you need to have something that's going to move you forward in the area that you need to be. And for us as consultants, as PR marketing professionals, it's imperative for us to have authority in the marketplace, that people trust us, that people can see what we do, that people know that they can hire us to get a specific result. And I think that's really important. And this is what this does. I mean, having this content in place for yourself, whether it be video or blog posts or whatever, it doesn't have to be video. We
Mhm.
love video right now because the platforms love video. So we kind of love video for that reason right now. But the bottom line is you don't have to have that, but you have to have something. You have to have thought leadership. Thought
Yeah.
leadership requires thought, you know,
And you've
and
talked about
sharing.
it's intellectual property. It's your assets, right? So you can take what you write or what you put in a video and build something with it.
Yeah, it's really critical. So anyway, I think you've done a great job with that. You understand, you get it, you get the assignment, as they say. You get the assignment, you know what it is. And in the end of the day, it's not that Cami knows a bunch of stuff that she's going to impart to you. I mean, that's really not what this is about. I have thought through a lot of this, and I have some cool tricks to help you get there faster, maybe. But in the end of the day, I know you're smart. I know you know what you're doing. And so this is really about empowering you to get it
Yeah.
done.
You're providing the nudge, like, hey, that
Yeah.
thing, here you go. This kind of reminds you to go ahead and go that direction.
Yes, this is not the Cami the Guru show. It
Yeah.
isn't. That's not what this is. So it's a different way of doing this. I know there's a lot of people that, they want to have this guru sort of thing where everybody comes to the fountain to drink. This is really more like you come to work.
You know what the challenge with the guru thing is
Yeah.
it taps into our wishful thinking, like, okay, you know everything and you're going to
Mhm.
turn me into you. And that's what I want. Whereas it's really about, I know what to do and I need to make decisions and create the rituals in my life where I'm applying what I need to apply.
Mhm. I see my job as bringing out the best in you. That's really my job. My
Yeah.
job is like seeing what's special about each person and bringing that out into the world, like encouraging them to bring it out, encouraging
Yeah.
them to take off the veil and show their face.
Yeah. Like helping them own their power that they already have.
Yes. Because you do. All of you have your own power. I mean, even if you think you don't, you do. You have something that is special to you. Even if you provide the same service as everyone else, you have something that is very specific to you that other people are looking for, that other people need, and you're hiding it. So
Yeah.
that's what we're working on. So thank you so much for all of your participation. I mean, I really love that you've taken this on in such a big way. So
Thank you.
yeah, so I think that's it. So anything else you want to say at the end here? We can definitely share your information. So I actually already did in the, uh, just go look in the caption for wherever you're watching this, and you will see that you can follow Sheena on LinkedIn. There's other things too what is your Instagram name again? It's just your
It's
name.
carved lemon coaching.
Yes. So I'm going to put that in too. So she's carved lemon coaching on Instagram. I'm going to put that here if you're an Instagram person. So you want to definitely do that. Um, Follow Sheena because she's doing some really, really cool videos. I learn a lot from your videos. I love them.
Awesome.
Just really the mindset stuff, it just challenges me, so I love your content. And I think all of you will too. So be sure to follow her. All right, great. Thank you so, so much for being here today.
Thank
I'm going to make
you.
it quick and out. I don't think we have any questions nobody's asked. But I really appreciate you being here today. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.